Hey guys, so last week we added decimal tenths and decimal hundredths. This week we're just going to be doing the opposite. We're going to subtract. So on the work today, you'll see similar to what we did last week, where we needed to add the tenth that would get us to the next whole number. But instead, now we're taking tenths from the whole number to get to the answer. So look, we got 1.01 minus blank equals 2 tenths, 0.2. So how many tenths do I need to take away from 1 to get to 2 tenths? Well, I would need to take away 8 tenths. It's easy. But say I have more than 1. What if I have 2? 2 minus what equals 1 and 9 tenths, or 1.9? Well, same thing. Just look at what we have for our answer. Look where we started. How many tenths did I take away? I only took away 1. So that's these are pretty easy to do in your head when you're trying to find the right tenths to plug in. And then, so when we subtract tenths, when we're doing decimal tenths, when we subtract them, when we do out the actual math, when we show our work, it's just like when you subtract any other numbers. So what I mean by that is, so right here I got 15 minus 9. So we're gonna do this one first, but then look over here. We just turn these numbers into smaller numbers, but we used all the same numbers. So we did 50 minus 9, but over here we did 1 and 5 tenths minus 9 tenths. So when you do 15 minus 9, and you could probably do that in your head, but if we did it out, we'd have to start, just like when we added, go all the way to the right, go to the smallest place value. We're in the ones place, and we subtract the ones. 5 minus 9. I can't really do 5 minus 9, so I have to go over to the tens place. I got to borrow that 10. I got to bring it over here. So now I took that 10, I broke it up into 10 ones, and now I have 15 minus 9 still. But the idea is we got to borrow from the next place value. So then 15 minus 9 is 6. And then I subtract my tens. 0 tens minus 0 tens is 0. So our answer was 6. And so it's the same thing when the numbers are a decimal. So say we have 1 and 5 tenths minus 9 tenths. Well, we can't do 5 tenths minus 9 tenths because 5 tenths is less than 9 tenths. But we go over to the next place value. We're not borrowing from the tens anymore. We're borrowing from the ones. So we break that 1 and we make it 10 tenths. So now we have 15 tenths. And 15 tenths minus 9 tenths equals 6 tenths. Then 0 ones minus 0 ones is 0. Bring that decimal down. So 1 and 5 tenths minus 9 tenths was 6 tenths. And let's do another one. So we got 2.3 minus 1.7. So first thing we need to do, go all the way to the right to the smallest place value, our tenths. Can we do 3 tenths minus 7 tenths? No, so we go over to the ones place. We're going to borrow one of these, just one. So that 2 becomes a 1. And then we took the other one and we made it 10 tenths. So now we have 13 tenths. So 13 tenths minus 7 tenths, can we do that? Yes. And that is 6 tenths. And then 1, and we said go subtract our ones. 1 minus 1 is 0. 6 tenths. So on your work, so it's pretty easy, right? On your work today, it will look like, so you'll have that first section where you got to subtract the right amount of tenths from the whole number to complete the number sentence. And then it's going to be the same format like we did. So trying to show how you borrow on the Google Docs is going to be a little tricky, but I didn't do the example yet, so I could show you how to do it. So say you get the the problem, 1.3 minus 1 3/10 minus 9/10. So we go to the tenths place, we're going to subtract. Can we do 3/10 minus 9/10? No. So when we borrow this, so how I'll know you borrowed is, we can do this. You can, I was thinking we could either just delete it or maybe highlight it. Highlight it like red maybe, so that way it's like it's deleted. And then you can put the number it becomes above it. Because that's like the only way I know to cross it out. So we took that 1, we're borrowing from that 1, it became a 0. And you don't have to do red, any color works. But show the number it becomes on the top after you borrow. So we took that 1, we're borrowing from that 1, we put what it is now, and then we're taking that 1, it became 10/10. So now we have 13/10. So this is the way I'll be able to tell if you borrowed. So highlight the number you're going to borrow, write what the new number is, and then take that over here and show it over and wherever you have to bring it after you borrowed it. And then just just solve it. So 13/10 minus 9/10, that's 4/10. And then now we got 0 minus 0 is 0. So 1 3/10 minus 9/10 is 4/10. So I think this should be pretty easy. If you have any questions, just message me on Google Classroom, or if you go in the meeting, or if you go to the 11:30 meeting, we can talk there too. There's just 4 of these problems, and then the 8 at the top. So pretty quick and pretty easy. You guys did good with the addition, so I think you're going to get this too. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.